All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ready, Set, Connect, our webinar series covering ProjectSight, Trimble's premier project management solution. Happy to have you guys here today. Today we're going to be talking about specifically managing change orders, tracking profitability, using a combination of your ERP, ProjectSight, and communicating contract change orders between those two systems. Just before we get started, let's cover just orientation. If you haven't seen our On24 platform, you're able to click on the individual tiles, make them bigger as we go through. So there's going to be a tile for the slides, and then we're going to do some live demoing and make sure to enter in any questions as we're going through. We'll try to get to as many as we can at the end if we've got some time left. And don't have too much time. We're trying to keep it short, so let's get into it. Once again, I'm Dave Thomas. I'm a ProjectSight specialist here at Trimble Viewpoint. Came from the industry, was a civil engineer. Was desperately trying to fix California freeways as a consultant for the DOT out here. Didn't achieve perfection, so I'm over here on the solution side. Now I've been over here for about a decade. I've been with Trimble Viewpoint for 3.5 years. Kick it over to my colleague Rob, and he'll introduce himself. We'll get rolling.
Thanks, Dave. We need some new photos, man.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
just
everyone.
thinking that.
I'm Rob Filer. I also come from a construction background, more commercial interiors, though. Probably the exact opposite of Dave's experience. So I worked for a New York City general contractor for a number of years, doing commercial interiors throughout Midtown Manhattan. So Dave and I both used our fair share of project management platforms. We're familiar. We come from the industry. We speak the language. So we kind of got tapped to run with ProjectSight over the past couple of years, and it's been a great time. So happy to continue this series and keep showing you guys some cool stuff.
All right. For you folks who haven't been joining the rest of this series, this is going to be a little bit of a new intro, but folks who have, review.
This is the best slide.
This is the best slide. Sums up what we're trying to achieve, what we do in one slide, right? We're not killing with PowerPoint. This is all we need. Talking about the full workflow from design to done, plugging into not just other Trimble systems, but other systems you're using for estimating, design, detailing, bring it all into one platform. What we're calling Trimble Construction One, with Trimble Connect, file system being the backbone, the driving force, managing files, allowing you to view 3D models in a collaborative single platform where you can bring in models from other systems. You can design them in Trimble and just getting everybody on the same page, both your internal and external crews and stakeholders. We're focusing on what's there in the middle today, project management, and then also how that flows into financial management on the far right with the ERP. All right, so you can double click on our screen, shift over from the slides. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get rolling here. All right, I think this is going to be it. I'm going to double check with Rob. These live demos are always a little bit dicey.
Yeah, you look
I think
good.
that should be it. Okay. Awesome. You should be seeing my screen here. I'm in ProjectSight. I'm in a web browser here today. We do have mobile apps as well to access ProjectSight. Okay, so what are we doing? Covering change orders, right? All right, so I want to show kind of the full workflow. The real power of ProjectSight is the connection into the ERP. I'm going to be focusing on Viewpoint Vista today, but know that there is a Spectrum connection coming very shortly. We'll talk a little bit about that if we have time towards the end. So don't want you all to get too focused in on us looking at Vista. I'm just going to use it as an example for today. You see ProjectSight in the background there. I want to start over in Vista. I just want to show you all the initiation, kind of the project life cycle, starting up a project over here in Vista. I'm going into PM project setup. I'm going to go into my PM projects. And I'm going to find one of our live connected projects, our TC1 connected projects that flow out to ProjectSight and back into Vista from ProjectSight. So here I'm looking at the grid. Now we've got a ProjectSight sync column to highlight which projects have been auto set it up out in ProjectSight.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be looking specifically at a 3307 project. So just to highlight where we're going to look at is this Salesforce tower here. You'll see it's already been synced. That means it's pulled the estimate from Vista, pulled our phase code and cost type structure that we've been working on for years, for some folks, decades. And it's going to populate a project out in ProjectSight automatically. It's going to pull companies. It's going to pull vendors. So your ERP is really your central hub for the folks you work with, those lists, and it's going to auto-populate over in ProjectSight.
Dave, do you have that? Are you sharing that sheet?
Which sheet? The connection sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should definitely pop that up. Where is that? Got it handy here.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at the portfolio view right now. I don't know if you're sharing another. Yeah, I don't know if you're sharing another window there.
Yeah, I think. Hold on one second. Let me share that.
All right.
Good.
Some technical difficulties, everyone. No worries.
This is why we don't do live demos. But there we go. All right, here. Let me shift over. User error. That was me showing the wrong thing. Okay, now you should be seeing my screen. You see in Vista now, Rob?
Yes. Now
okay.
I'm on Vista. Yeah.
All right, adventures and live demos. Okay, I was talking through it. You guys weren't seeing it, but I was in Vista. I went to PM projects, and I scrolled down. So what I was trying to highlight was this ProjectSight sync column, and the Salesforce tower is where the projects we're going to use. So it's already been synced. Good catch, Rob.
Yes.
All right,
so
let's shift gears.
Familiar for all our Vista users, right? So very easy to it's just a toggle, and then you're sending that project into ProjectSight, right? So you don't have to do the admin of creating a project in ProjectSight or have that double data entry with that budget. It's just going to automatically flow, like Dave said, that those companies are going to come over, right? And you're going to be able to just get started, right? Your PEs can get going, throwing a submittal log together, right? Adding drawings, right? Sending drawings out to subcontractors or whoever would need to look at those, right? So very easy to get going.
Excellent. All right. So I'm already logged in here. Single sign on between the two systems. We'll jump into our TC1 portfolio here. There's that Salesforce tower I use as an example, 3307. Onto the dashboard, and going to highlight the budget, what's pulled over, and then we're going to run some change orders. All right, quick orientation. What pulled over here, budget code, is a phase code and cost type combo. So ProjectSight's really good at understanding what you've already built over in Vista, over in Spectrum, and bringing that out here. Bringing out the description as well for each line item and that initial estimate from your ERP. And now once we're go on this project from this point on, you're tracking prime contract changes in these blue columns here, commitment changes in these tan columns, and we're going to be able to see how much more we have left to commit. And even if I scroll further, we've got the ability to adjust that projected cost to a forecasted cost with some dollars that, not a change order yet, it's coming down the pipe. You want to be ready and you want to work that into a forecasted number. You could do that out here, and you'll even see I've got some notes for each line on why and how we're adding in those numbers. All right, let's pick on one of these. I'm going to pick on 31110 phase code and cost type 1. In this project, that's labor. And you'll see I've got some numbers in here. Actually, no, I'm going one down. Just kidding. There it is. Solvent Gauge Edge for materials, since that's got some pending commitment changes in there, $4,000 tied in there. And if I dive into that line item, I've got a full transaction history. Here you'll see that PCO, that pending change order, where those dollars are falling.
Yeah. Now this is the exciting part, right? So PMs don't have to go into Vista anymore, right? I mean, I don't want to say that, right? For some instances, they may need to go into Vista, but for just looking at the budget, right, and to trying to see what's pushing against those scheduled values, right? They're going to be able to do all that in ProjectSight. They're going to be able to see the general conditions. They're going to be able to see the general expenses, right? The change orders, things that are affecting these line items, right? This is how you're going to be able to look at potential costs that are coming up, right? All things that you can do within ProjectSight in the budget area here without having to go back.
You bet. And we're looking at PCOs here. We're just going to go right to it. So the whole budget and cost module on ProjectSight's all connected. You'll see everything's feeding in. So PCOs, contracts, both subcontracts are flowing into the budget, so you can see it all on one screen. So I dove off into this PCO number 3. Owner initiated design change is the topic. And then we've only got one line item here. But we've got some rough numbers in here, right? An estimate. So this is really early stage, rough order of magnitude.
Yep.
I think it's going to be about $5,000 on the budget side, and then on the cost side, so our commitment side, we're estimating $4,000. So folks who are Vista users, used to doing change orders out there, you'll see this is pretty familiar, but what you're not seeing is all the distractions of Vista, right? And Vista's awesome, but it's a really powerful tool, but it's an accounting system, and there are a million ways to slice and dice the data, menus everywhere, top, left, work center. So this is streamlined for the field.
Yeah. So a couple of key takeaways here, right? We're going to be able to limit who has access to things like change orders, obviously, right? You get an unlimited amount of security roles with ProjectSight. So your PMs are going to be able to have change orders. Maybe, commercial interiors world, kind of a lot of gray area, right? Maybe I'm a project manager, maybe I'm a superintendent, lots of crossover. I personally had we had a little residency in Rockefeller Center. Some days I'm a project manager, some days I'm a superintendent, some days I'm a laborer taking bins down, right? The freight elevator. You do what you got to do in situations like that. Not everybody is going to need access to change orders, right? But you may have those personnel, right? Those special teams guys that are going to be sort of, a Johnny all trades, right? So they're going to be able to have access to change orders if you want, and you could have as many security roles to be able to grant access to those individuals, right? So you're not just locked into, all PMs can do change orders, all superintendents see the documents. You get a lot of configurability here. These change orders that Dave's showing, the big trigger here is going to be the statuses, right? So very configurable as far as the statuses you can have for your change orders. You're going to be able to use this change order log, right, as your drafts, as your pending review, as you're out for sub pricing, right? This is going to be where your PMs can live and actually build change orders without the commitment of having them in Vista, right? It's very important. I know everyone has a secret Excel document where you're building your change orders before they go to the accounting team, right? You don't have to have that anymore. You can have a living document log within ProjectSight of those change orders. Maybe they're just in draft. Maybe you want to create a couple of drafts for one change order, send it to the owner, see which option they want to go with. Maybe you want to get pricing from a couple of different subs. You could do all of that in ProjectSight, right? The same way you do it with submittals or with RFIs, right? That's how change orders should be, right? You shouldn't be scared to create a change order. And this is where ProjectSight really pays for itself at the end of the day, right? Being able to have the freedom to create a change order, throw it in draft, and if it comes to fruition, great. If it doesn't, even better maybe, right? But we're not scared to have those created, right? So, Dave, I'll get off my soapbox, but just wanted to throw some 2 cents in there.
Yeah, and that's great. That really is the power, is getting the drafts in here, working it through, getting pricing, and keeping everything in one location. You know,
Yeah,
we're digitally stapling any backup data, any quotes we're getting related to this. It's going to be all tied in here in the cloud.
yeah,
And you know, Rob mentioned Excel sheets that somebody's doing this on. You know, somebody goes down, somebody gets COVID, somebody gets injured, and they're out of work, and they can't get into their laptop. That information's siloed away, right? We want to keep this in a collaborative format where we can have a conversation, we can have a comment stream back and forth, we
exactly.
can have email shootout.
Yeah,
Email shootout. You don't even have to come back into the system to respond and comment on this change order that Rob's
yeah,
mentioning when it's going out to the owner. They can just respond to the email, kicks it right back in here, and they can even attach documents and have those populate here.
yeah, yeah. And you can review these internally too. That assignments, right? We've spoken in previous webinars about the assignments button, right? When you assign somebody internally, externally, an item or a record in ProjectSight, they're going to see a PDF. They're going to see a PDF document of that record, and it's going to include all of the records that are associated with it, right? So a change order isn't just a change order that just, comes out of thin air, right? Typically, it starts as an issue, it starts as an RFI, it starts as something that happened on the job site that may have a photo attached to a daily report, right? And we're able to link and collate all those things together, and now it lives with the change order, right? You can't do that if you're doing your RFIs and your daily reports in one platform that's completely disconnected from your accounting system, right? Because all those RFIs, all that valuable information, the substantiating documentation, that's what's going to get you paid at the end of the day, all of that is going to die in the project management system if it's not connected. So here we're taking that evidence and we're linking it to the change order. That way you can submit it in one package and you can say, this is why we need to get paid more for this particular item because it was a change in circumstance, it was a change in conditions, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, great point. And say something, say you don't get paid on this yet, but everything's lined up here. Year down the road, you're still fighting for payment from the owner.
Yeah.
You got to go back in. It's a year later. Do you remember what the origin is? Do you remember the issue number it came from? Do you remember what system that was in? Probably not, right? And what if you have to hand it off to somebody else? You roll over PMs, you have a new PM, and he has to track it down. It's all right here. That's a great point, Rob. Yeah, excellent. So for this, you'll see this is impacting our V&M concrete commitment. That commitment was created out here in ProjectSight. We worked it through approval, kicked it right into Vista, and we're working a change order that's affecting this V&M concrete contract number 1. And Rob mentioned the approval process, draft, internal approval, and now what's going to determine when it goes back to Vista is the statuses. So we can say approved in Vista. That toggle approved for budget, so it'll update our grid, which we showed you initially. Save it and flows into Vista. Why is that important, right? Why should you care, right? Flowing right into Vista. There's no room to miss a zero right here, right? Miss a zero, add an extra one, have the numbers messed up, have somebody, how many times have you tweaked an Excel file, an Excel cell in a file without meaning to, right? That's kind of the danger of having this workflow out in Excel.
Yeah. Can we talk about the log real quick, Dave?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so we've only got a couple minutes left here. This is really detailed to change orders, right? But a couple of things to note, right? So Dave's looking at potential change orders, subcontract change orders, change order requests, and prime contract change orders here, right? This 4 areas all linked together, right? So we're going to start as a PCO, as a potential change order, and don't get me wrong, I can already hear the sort of the groans from the room. If you want to retitle it to just say change orders, or if you want to retitle it to say change events, right? We're looking at you, Procore users. It's okay. We won't tell anybody. You can retitle it. so that you can have that continuation of process. But you can retitle these and they're all linked together, right? So you're going to start with a potential change order and you're going to group them together as a change order request, right? But focusing on that log, right? Looking at the log view, you're going to be able to filter out fields. You're going to be able to sort by status. You're going to be able to sort by who it's assigned to and what company it's assigned to. And same as all those other record types, you can send out notifications, batch selected for each of these, right? So this log that we're looking at, Dave's going through these columns here. He's adding the columns that he wants, right? He's creating a register that makes sense to him. That's going to pull the information that he wants to have so that he can pull it into an owner architect meeting, right? Or he could pull it into a cost meeting internally, right? When you do that, you can save this view, right, with all those filters that Dave just added, all those data points, and you could have it schedule it so that it's going to send itself to you at a predetermined interval, right? Every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday at 7 a.m., once a week, once every 2 weeks, however you want to set it up. Right? That way you have it in your inbox so that you can, have it for review. If you want to forward it directly to the owner group, you can do that too, right? You can let them know, hey, this is what's coming down the road. Yep. Are you ready for this? Right? So lots of flexibility here.
Yep. So we're doing PCOs here just for you Vista users out there. These PCOs, when they do flow back into Vista, they're going to land in JC change orders, internal. When we're talking subcontract change orders, they're going right into your SL module into SL change orders. All right. That is, Rob, is that everything I wanted to show that you needed me to show? I think we're pretty good.
I think we're pretty good.
20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of good. You want to take some questions quick? I think we keep running out. We keep running out of time. So
yeah,
let's question. I've got one right. I have a small company. How can I find out if PM software is the right option for my company? I'm worried I can't afford it, but I need to have a better option than what I currently have. Good question. Really good question. So smaller companies just starting out, right? ProjectSight is sort of that Goldilocks fit, if you will. It's not too expensive, and it's also not, or it's just sophisticated enough, right? More importantly, the way that the pricing is set up for ProjectSight really lends itself to a growing company, right? So when you're on ProjectSight, first thing, you have unlimited users. You have unlimited users, you have unlimited projects, right? It is based on how much volume you're putting through the software, right? So it is based loosely on company size, right? But it's a partnership between Trimble and the customer, right? We're not here to penalize anybody for growth, right? Within the length of that contract, which is a standard 36-month, 3-year contract, right? You are going to have the ability to grow within there, right? Now that growth is a good thing, right? Because it means that the system's working. It means that everything's going well, right? And then at the end of the 3 years, that's when we could really sit down and hash out, hey, you grew by this much. This is how much volume you're actually putting through the system. This is how much volume has changed, right? And then we can sit down. But no one's going back to the mattresses, as we say in New York, mid-contract, right? No one's knocking down your door to ask for your financial. No one's auditing your financials year after year. We're not calling you up saying, hey, you put too many projects in this year, you're going to have to pay double, right? We don't do that. So I think it lends itself very well to a new, smaller company that maybe has your eyes on bigger things. All right.
All right.
And did we run out of time? Time for
did.
one more. We
Time for
currently
one
use
more.
Spectrum. We currently use Spectrum. Will ProjectSight work the same as demoed with Vista? Great question. Yes, it will. Right, that Spectrum connection is right around the corner. Trimble purchased Rivet, which is the largest integration company in construction technology right now. They're the company that does all of Procore's integrations. So very strategic chess move by Trimble executives. So we now control the levers of all Procore's integrations. Right, pretty cool. But more importantly for ProjectSight, Rivet is building out that connection between Spectrum. They're doing a great job. It's already in beta. We're really looking forward to that right around the corner. So yes, it will function very similar, if not the same exactly. All right, and I think I think that leaves us to upcoming webinars.
Yep. So the previous ones are going to be available on demand if you didn't catch those. We've got some great ones coming up. Rob's just talking about our acquisition of Rivet, and you'll see on the 27th we've got a webinar in regards to just one of their connection solutions called CDX, which transfers between ProjectSight and other PM solutions to move submittals and RFIs today, with additional connections they're working on right now, which are going to be really exciting.
Yeah. I can't hear how many times we get, subcontractors that say, oh, the owner group uses Procore, so I have to buy Procore. And they're paying, 5% of revenue for a product to send submittals in, right? You don't have to do that anymore. We have a solution for that.
All right. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks again for joining us. Join our future webinars. Appreciate you all taking the time with us. Rob, you want to close us out? Anything left to say?
Yeah, thanks for spending the time here with us and paying attention. Any questions, feel free to reach out to Dave and I directly, or anyone else within the Viewpoint Trimble organization. So, all right, thank you.